seen the clips of Avi Yamini really homing in on a lot of the journalists and the other mainstream media outlets, such as the New York Times, and of course ministers from all over the world. It's a very, very strange place because you have this fake pop-up corporate strip in Davos that they obviously do once the annual meetings begin, each time that they set it up. And it's just this one big circle jerk. I always explain it, right? The best way to explain it to someone is, you know, when you go on like a hen do or a stag do, or you're going away with your girlfriends or your the lads on a holiday, and you go to those specific types of holidays where there's a main strip with all the bars, clubs, and, you know, the nightlife and everything. Imagine that, but it's for billionaires and it's for the corporate lot. And instead of the nightlife, it's more sort of corporations, all funded, all kind of tied in with each other. And they're all just basically doing one big show off, one big circle jerk to say, hey, I'm part of the WEF. All of our companies are in this one conglomerate area, and just one big show off, really. And that was really strange. And you saw, of course, clips when I was confronting the Intel events manager, and he, of course, cowardly ran off after I started talking about censorship. But after that, we panned the camera around, you saw this celebrity-like culture in front of billboards of like Intel and the World Economic Forum logo. And that's really weird to me. You know, obviously I live in the middle of nowhere here in England. So I don't really see that type of celebrity-esque type culture. But to see it firsthand in Davos, where the global elite meet and sort of discuss rearranging the world, and that's not a conspiracy theory anymore, you can actually say that out loud. That's really weird to me. So I was pretty weirded out. And I'm be honest, as much as I loved Switzerland and, you know, the mountains and, you know, the wildlife and the way it looked, I'm kind of glad I'm back home to my home comforts.
Yeah, you know, from watching your footage, it felt as though they managed to somehow strip all the charm out of this Swiss town. Yeah. And sort of turn it into a billionaire's Vegas with all these bizarre disposable storefronts. I thought that was interesting too. Is, you know, and I've seen this at the UN climate change conferences where everything is sort of built once. It's plastic, it's disposable. They build it for show for the world and then just throw it in the bin when they're done. And I think, you know, same thing at Davos where they're preening about climate change and how these billionaires and these oligarchs and these businesses are going to be the solution for climate change. And yet they're all flying in on private jets to their little disposable storefronts to lecture us about our SUVs and our climate footprints. And you guys noticed a lot of that. You guys went to the airport and showed all the private jets. And what I loved about that was the other media could have gone to the airport. The other media probably even came in on that airport, but they didn't think there was anything strange about it. It's strange about all these private jets and these billionaires coming in on their private jets and then taking a helicopter actually to Davos. They didn't think there was anything strange about that when, you know, it's all just the ends justifying the means.
Yeah. And what's interesting about the private airport report was when we arrived there, the air traffic controllers were so friendly and they actually invited us in. And we were having a great chat with them, and they actually showed us the database of all the private airplanes going in. And you could easily Google the registration number and figure out who was who. So they were explaining as well how today wasn't a busy day. And of course, there was only, I think we saw about 4, maybe 5 private jets on that particular day we were reporting. But the day before and the day before that, they were explaining how it was completely chocker, essentially. It was completely rammed full of private jets. And because, I mean, bless them, unfortunately, they couldn't do the private helicopter transport over to Davos. They had to go via car. So, you know, poor them, of course, you know, taking the windy roads that we had to into Davos. But I think, yeah, you're right. It is important. And I think you're right when you say the media could have easily gone there and reported on it and could have explained themselves on why, but they don't, because they know it's hypocritical. They know that it's wrong, and they don't like the fact that independent journalists or independent reporters point that out, because it completely derails their narrative.
Oh, hey, what you just saw there is a clip from my weekly full-length show, The Gunn Show. It airs on Wednesday, but this is the internet. You can watch it whenever you feel like. You just have to become a subscriber to our paywalled premium content. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com to become a member today.